Alright, there we go. Alright, when were you born?
Born in Trenton, New Jersey on February 9th, 1928.
Okay. And what's your ethnic background?
English and Irish.
Just complete, that's it?
That's it.
Um,
My grandfather was Irish Protestant, and my mother was, no, I'm sorry. My dad was English, and my mother was Irish Protestant.
how much do you remember about your grandparents?
Oh, a bit. My grandfather came from Ireland, as I said, on my mother's side, and he and his brother started a business in Northampton, Massachusetts, dry goods store on Main Street. Prior to that, he worked on the Boston, Maine Railroad as a switchman, I think, and also a conductor. And his brother and he, as I say, started the store, and they had a very successful store. His brother passed on, and my grandfather kept the store, right, and made a very successful dry good business there. And I even worked at the store when I was a little guy. That was quite interesting. Right. My mother was born in Northampton, and she went to schools in Northampton, and she went to a finishing school. I'm not exactly where, but she always said that she went to finishing school to get finished. I remember that. And I don't know how far you want to go with...
Go say what you want to say.
Okay.
Just anything you can remember.
And
if you have good stories, any good memories from the store when you worked there?
Yeah, I had some pretty good memories there. It was interesting to work in the store. I just worked one summer and lived at my grandfather's house because my folks are still in New Jersey. And we had a lot of waves coming in from Smith College, because that was the college during World War II where all the waves took their training.
Mm-hmm.
And that was quite interesting. A lot of them came into the store, and we'd ask them questions about who they were, where they were from, and so on. And that was quite interesting. Then at that particular time, I also decided that I'd like to become a spotter, an aircraft spotter. This is before I went in the Navy. And so I spotted planes at a bridge outside of Northampton. Every plane that flew over, we had to notify a person what kind of plane it was. Most of them, of course, were civilian planes. But if there were any marine aircraft from World War II or so, it was inherent on us to make sure that they weren't bad planes.
And airplanes weren't even that old at that time, right?
No, they're all prop driven. No jets, of course. That's a lot pre-jet.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I did while I was that summer, also working at the store.
How old would you say you were?
I was 15 or 16, and I was chafing at the bit to get in the service because, of course, the war was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we...
Louder.
It's fine.
So I tried to get my parents to sign papers for me to get in the service before I was 17, but they...
Oops. It's probably Mom. Yeah, buddy. Mom's gonna pick you up. Alright? Bye.
We're gonna gonna eat at 5 o'clock. What time does he get out? I school.
I think he said 4 earlier. All right, go ahead. You were itching to get into the service.
Yeah, and I tried to get them to sign the papers, but to no avail.
So you had to wait till you were
I had to wait
18?
till I was 17.
17, okay.
Yeah, 17. Of course, the war started in 1941, and I was just a little guy at that particular time. But in 1945, I left school to go into service. The war was still going on, and I wanted to get my share. So off I went to the Navy, and I enlisted in New York City, and we took a train to Sampson, New York, and it took us 3 days to get there from New York.
Now, let me ask you, why were you so eager to go into
Well,
the services?
The war was going on.
So that's all there was to do?
Well, there's a lot of things to do,
Mm-hmm.
but the majority of the people at that age wanted to go into the service. And a lot of women too, as I said, with the waves and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the reason I just had to get in. And I loved the Navy anyway. And as I say, it took us 3 days to get to Sampson, New York, because what they did, it's a very, very short trip from New York City. But they kept us going south, and then they'd get us north, and then we'd stop, and then we'd go this way and that way. It was all to divert any possibilities of espionage or anything like that going on. And I'll never forget of course in those days we had coal-driven trains, and the windows were kept open and everybody's getting soot all over them. But we slept on the train, of course. And, each morning the black gentleman who took care of us used to wake us up, and get going. They had a special way of getting us up and telling us that it was time to go, which I won't go into here. But it was funny.
Well, I went through fraternity life. I'm sure I know what you're talking about. Let's go back a little. How are your other grandparents? Do you remember them as well as your grandfather?
I didn't on my
Now what?
on my father's side. I never.
Oh, well, what time is he finished?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, Michael just was talking to him. Hold on a minute, please. This is your mother, and Ryan needs to be picked up now. He's all done.
Okay.
And so, okay?
All right.
To call and tell him in a minute. Okay. And the lamp's gonna be done at 5 o'clock. Okay? Okay. Okay, bye.
Okay, let's just finish talking about your other
Okay, my,
grandparents, and then
My
Do you know how to get there, Michael?
yeah.
Okay.
On my grandfather's side, I never knew my grandmother, his mother, because she had passed away, so I never got to know her. But I know that she was from Norwood, Massachusetts, and that's where my dad went to school, in Norwood, and finished high school there, and he went to Amherst College in Amherst, Massachusetts.
You say your grandfather came over from Ireland. What other generations were like? So that was first generation
Yes.
American.
Mhm.
So what were your other grandparents?
My father's heritage stems from England,
Hmm.
and he traced his genealogy back to 1422.
Oh wow.
Goes way back. And we, in fact, visited, when we were over in England, we visited the city where I think the original genealogical background goes to, which was quite interesting. It was a walled city I'm trying to think of the name, but maybe my wife can remember the name, but do you remember, Marion?
What?
Do you remember the name of the city in England with the walled city where we went to see where my grandparents were born or came originally from? You remember that city?
When we were in England, you mean?
Yeah.
York, was it?
Maybe, I guess it was York.
Was it York?
Yeah, York, England, yeah. Yeah. So that was quite interesting. But my dad did make quite a genealogical study of that, which I have, and which probably you'll be getting eventually.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So that's on my dad's side. I don't know how far you want to go.
I mean, however much you can remember would be great.
Well, that, as far as that goes, that would be about it, as far as I can
Yeah.
remember. The reason we moved from into New Jersey, where I was born in Trenton, was because my father was given a job to him by my uncle, who worked for Hammersley Manufacturing Company in Garfield, New Jersey, and they made wax paper and glassine paper, which are your little paper cups that the candy comes in.
Mm-hmm.
They made that particular glassine paper, and my father helped actually discover it or fix it so it was the way they wanted it. And he had quite a job. He worked for that company. He started out as a test tube washer, washing all the utensils, Bunsen burners, and all the retorts and so on, and worked his way up to chief chemist. And then from chief chemist, he went to vice president.
Wow.
So he worked his way up, pulled himself up by his own bootstraps. He had only been able to go to Amherst for 1 year, but my uncle had gone for 4 years, and my cousin, three of my cousins went for 4 years each, so they're graduates of Amherst. That's about what I can remember on that.
All right.
I don't know if you want to go into the Navy. That's
Why don't we stop and then
Stop
we'll
down and,
we'll continue
sure.
when I get my brother.
okay. Good.
All right. Excellent.
I don't know how good that was, but
Oh, that's fine.
Well, I can live if you want. Still have the churn mattress on my bed if you want to make that box.